Hello, everyone. My name is Hank Suttela,
And I'm Casey McBride.
and here's another fun episode of Stir Crazy Shamans.
I was going to do it for some reason. Like Spirit was like, you do it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stir Crazy Shamans.
The reason why is because Periscope had some error message, and I'm like, oh, this is usually temporary. So I was messing with that, and you started the greeting, so it worked out great.
Welcome, everyone. So today we're talking. By the way, for everyone who doesn't know, I'm Casey McBride. I am a shamanic healer, a psychic reader. I do spirit guide readings, and I have just been discovering more and more magic every single day as I continue to walk this path alongside my brother Hank Suttela.
Yeah, and apparently Periscope does not want to remove help today, so I'm just going to remove it. And welcome, everybody. Maybe I'm getting pookly-eyed a little bit from yesterday. I don't know what's going on here.
So today, what we're talking about is so it's called Spirit Guide Play, and that was inspired by this really fun interaction that happened yesterday. And so. Well, I'll wait for Hank. Are we good?
No, well, yeah, we're good. I switched the stream to my personal profile from Periscope. So, but while since I am mentioning that, real quick for everybody, we're streaming a different way, so we're hitting like a whole bunch of other places. So, if you want to make a comment, please click the link to the YouTube channel and make your comments there. Otherwise, we may not see them, and we're not trying to ignore you. We're just trying to reach as many people as possible. So that's just it comes to the territory. So please. Contribute there. All right, go ahead.
So anyway, I'm sitting around and I don't know exactly what got us on this topic. We were just talking about all kinds of magical things. And then somehow I was talking to my guide, Graham the Angel, and he is like pookly eye or sacred play and just like pranks and jokes embodied in angel form. And so I don't know what sparked it. But I was like, Graham, is there some way you can do something and like mess with Hank, like do a little like pookly eye, and so he said yes, he was going to, and then like I think a day went by or something, so then it was like last night, and then I asked Hank, did he discover the pookly eye, and then tell about your end first, just with the marshmallows, and then we'll continue from there.
Well, you had told me that Graham said that it was going to be a fire pookly eye, and it was already set, and I just maybe haven't noticed yet. and then as he's saying that, like I had just come outside and sat down. I had gone on this quest. I found, for those of you who don't know, I'm vegan, and and I had gone through great lengths. I got vegan chocolate, and I had graham crackers, granted honey, so I guess I'm plant-based, not vegan, and vegan marshmallows and vegan chocolate and all this. And I was so looking forward to it. And then I couldn't find the marshmallows at all. They were like right on the stove to the left of the stove. They had been there for like a week. They were just sitting there waiting for me to make my s'mores. And then so I go outside kind of like, oh well, I guess I'll just eat chocolate and cracker by itself. And then this is where he tells me about there's this fire pookly eye.
And they had continued. So they were gone. They had you couldn't find them.
Completely gone. And in that moment, you had asked me like, "Hey, have I found the pookly?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know if this is the pookly or not, but I was planning to make these these vegan s'mores, and all of a sudden I can't find the marshmallows, and I knew where they were. So it's not like they got misplaced, and there's no reason for anybody to move them or anything like that. And I'm like, is it that? Did he steal my marshmallows? Did he import them somewhere?
So in that moment, I saw Graham. And he's going there and just energetically, he's got like a bag of marshmallows, and he's like, I would never, ever think of doing something like that. And then, so then later, Graham, we're continuing to talk about this, and Graham goes, tell him to look at the last graham cracker.
Well, a little bit filling in some blanks, at least from my point of view. For one, after they were missing, and I knew it was actually pookly eye and not just like a true, like I misplaced them, I pot and pocked the pookly eye. So so like I'm like, well, everything that is allowing these marshmallows to be held outside of time and space, I destroyed, uncreated, pot and pock. And then the next thing I know is my son Oliver is coming out saying, "Daddy, I don't know why they were there, but it was like my wife and Oliver were inside. She was working on something for a project, and they were just there. And on the table next to them, the vegan marshmallows were there. Now, my son would never steal them because the vegan marshmallows have like pea protein in it. He has a food allergy, so he wouldn't be taking the marshmallows or anything like that. But it comes out, and he's like, "Yeah, they were on the table right next to me and mommy." So not only was it pookly-eyed, it's also like it went from the kitchen to them with no seeing of it. So it just kind of like teleported there, whatever you want to think about. And then I decided to make a wise ass remark, and I'm like, well, tell Graham that since his name is Graham, instead of pookly and the marshmallows, he should have done the graham crackers.
And so that was right. So right after Hank made that comment about the graham crackers, Graham goes, "Tell him to look at the last graham cracker." And then
and so then I take the package and I go to the very last one, and it looks like a bite. I sent Casey a picture of it. It looks like a bite was taken out of the last graham cracker. And I look at the package, and the corner's not missing; it's just gone. I mean, not missing. Like the corners, it's not just broken, and like that one piece is in the bottom of the package. It's just not there. And so I sent him a picture. I'm like, really?
And then Graham looks up at me after he sends that picture, and he just goes, "And it was delicious." So this sparked this whole okay, wow, if this is possible, that we're open enough to allow our guides to have this back and forth and play that even affects the physical world, what other kind of incredible magic can we create on a day-to-day basis? How amazing is that?
I didn't jiggle the mouse soon enough. No. For those of you who don't know, I have a part-time gig almost. I thought I got fired today. It was seriously, I get to the office and I go to log in, and it's access denied. I'm like, oh, did they fire me and they forgot to tell me? How awesome would that be? But unfortunately, I'm not fired. It was some weird technology glitch and it got fixed. But so I got to switch from break to lunch real quick. So I'm gonna take myself off the stream, and Casey can tell you about more fun spirit pookly eye.
So this is what happened after that. So I want Hank to be here for this. Because I want to share this story with him and hear his point of view. But I'll just start talking, and then when Hank jumps in, he can jump in.
No, I can still hear you. So
okay,
I just don't want people seeing me fiddling with this computer that I'm about to throw across the room. I'm pookly my boss into the department.
So after the whole graham cracker thing, then we're sitting there and we're just laughing and just in such a beautiful state of joy and wow, this is incredible. Both of us already know, right? We know our guides are there and very real and all of that, but this was just another level of amazing. And so I'm sitting there, from my point of view, the graham cracker thing happened and we were sitting around, and it's kind of a moment of silence. I was relaxing and just enjoy and laughing. And then this spirit that I had never seen before pops up next to me and slaps me on the stomach and goes, "Greetings from Hank." And I go, "What the heck is that about?"
Yeah, what he did know is after I had the graham cracker taken out, the bite taken out of it, I told my guys, I'm like, "Go get him." Do whatever you want to do. Go give some payback.
So and then I just see after that that guide and then Graham, the angel, they were holding shoulders and just singing this song. And it was one of the songs that Hank sings when he does his kind of light language thing that comes through. And then they had said, they're like, "All right, Casey, you hang out here. We're going to go party for a little while." And then they took off, and I saw them walk through a portal and leave. And then a while later, so Graham comes stumbling back in the room drunk. And he's like, those guys, they're such good guys. Did you know that? And then he's knocking stuff over. And then one of the angel guys just sits there and he's like, "Graham, come here." And then just sucks the energy of whatever it was that had him in that state. And Graham's like, "Oh, but I was having fun." He's like, "Yeah, but you're knocking shit over in case he's got to go to sleep."
Now, I not knowing this yet, this morning, we had a whole nother conversation well, how fun would it be if we meet up in the dream world and go on a journey adventure together and all that. And well, I stay up later than Casey. I'm more of a midnight owl. And while Casey's falling asleep and I'm just sitting there, I just get this vision of all these weird animals, spirit guide beings. Like I told him it reminded me of like one of the last scenes in one of the Night at the Museum movies, where you see like the dinosaur and all the like different costume people, like they're all just dancing and having a good time. It felt like there was a party. I was like, well, that's odd. And then I felt like this hangover energy. And then this morning when we were texting back and forth, he was telling me about this party. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know spirit guides could get drunk or anything like that. But apparently, like he had this awareness of the party as well. So it was like just this amazing validation of how much not just we can have play in our life, but how much our guides can also have the spirit of Puklei, sacred play.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's amazing. You know, they some people, and we were just talking about this. There are some people that again, they sort of have this serious view of like their guides, right? It's like, my guides, I just turn to them when I need help and healing and all that. But like our guides are these very conscious living beings, just like humans are, and they like to have fun and party and do all kinds of things, just like we do. But when we open up to like those possibilities of like just playing and having fun with them, they are more than happy to play right along with us. So yeah, it's so much fun. And that was just last night, us like trying that kind of thing for the first time with each other. Like, what else is possible in the days to come?
Very cool. And just and as an aside note, we got Ryan Dean back here. I'm flipping the camera. I was thinking I was going to flip the camera. You can see him over there a little bit. Hey, and he's going to be on the stream live with us in the next, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. He is the empathic healing guru. Yes. And he actually has a live stream like every day around 9:00, doing like little information and things from spirit or for empaths specifically that identify and can really feel people. So since he happens to be here making a coffee behind the scenes, figured I would give him a shout out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh no, I don't know if they can even hear the noise or not because the mic is pretty but anyway, it's going to be great having him on. And also like the center, it's the first time that during the day like two of us have been here. Like feels so great to have just stuff going on at the center. You can see my tuning forks behind me. It's like we're getting ready to reopen on the 12th. It's so exciting.
Yes. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, and everyone stay tuned about this stuff because now that me and Hank have connected like we have, I just have the feeling there's going to be all kinds of magic happening at the center.
Yeah. Speaking of magic, check out this comment. Angela was saying she finally feels like she just met her family here with you guys. I don't speak of this stuff with anyone, and you guys are so open with it all.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your contribution. And that's what when we started this, it started off as a joke and became something just fun and super exciting. And who knows what is going to be possible as we continue to move forward with Stir Crazy Shamans.
Oh, so much magic. But yeah, no, it was funny. It brings me back to this. The one time I was, I told this story before, but now like more of it clicked. I was watching this show. It was an anime. It's an animated like Japanese show. And I was sitting there watching this character who can see and communicate with like these spirit beings. And so like one of the things she does is she has them like mess with people. So she'll be like, oh, and like without telling them why, she's like, oh, this person like absolutely loves it when like people scratch the top of her head, like knowing that the person like hates the top of their head being touched or something. And the spirit's like, oh really, I'll go do that for them. And then like it's just the next scene is like them like freaking out. And then but part of that I was watching just them have that like playful back and forth with the spirits. And at the time I was like, oh, like that seems so cool. And then I'm sitting there later that night in bed, and I asked my guides a question, and then two of my guides just had this kind of like banter back and forth where they were messing with each other. And I was just cracking up, and then I realized I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a real life anime character. And then last night this happens, and I had that thought again. I'm like, why wouldn't it be possible for me to ask my guides to go mess with someone like like I saw on that show? And sure enough, not only is it possible, but it happened like that.
Especially if you do it with the series, like the sense of play about it. It's not like you're having them go out and spread doom and gloom. It's like to bring this playful
right.
Puklei, that sacred play. That's really what it is. So how much fun is that? So if you're watching, like what magic could you inspire by interacting with your guides, and what more play could you have in your life and in the life of those around you if you had this playful spirit engage your guides in this whole new way just for fun?
And I can't tell you how many times also I've been like doing a reading for someone, And and I think that like the spirits, at least when I'm working with them, they're so willing to be like, does that work person want to like have an experience? Like, do they want proof right now? Because we'll give it.
Oh, this
And
reminds me of something too. Oh, go finish. I thought you were.
no, so like for example, I was doing the one reading, and the person was like, she's like, oh, I really want to, like I really want to be able to experience, like communicate with my guide somehow, but I've never, like I haven't been able to do it yet, and all this, and this one of their guides is like, well, ask her if she wants to see us right now. And it's like, okay. So I asked him, like, do you want to see them right now? And she got this like real some like almost like not fear, but like heavy excitement around it. So I guided her through the process of kind of like clearing that. And then I was like, okay, are you sure you're really ready? Because they're going to show themselves if you want. And she like, it's still at this point, I think she was in the state of like, is that really going to happen? What's going to, and then they went through this whole process, and I remember seeing their guides like come through and then just like shine this, and then like boom, it was like they were there. And, but like numerous times, maybe not to like that degree, but other things like many, and like with feelings and things, like the guide will be like doing this, like rubbing onto their shoulder or something. And like, ask her if she can feel that on her shoulder. And I'll ask, and they'll be like, oh, I can. What is that? And so, yeah, our guides we're in that state of just playing and allowing, like they are more than willing to give us all. Oh, go ahead.
There's perhaps one more thing of Pukle from last night. I'm curious. What was your cat's experience last night, if you know?
The cat's experience. I just know around like 4 a.m, she was like crazy meowing outside of the door.
Yeah, you remember when I messaged you at the very end, Moogie?
Mookie, yeah.
Moogie was one of my first spirit guides that I ever had been aware of, and it is this beautiful wolf in spirit. And I told Moogie to go mess with your cat in the middle of the night. Yeah, just and I hadn't told you about it before. I just remembered about it. I'm like, oh, cool! Now we just discovered one more Pukle from last night on air.
Oh, I wonder what time that was, because I wonder if it wasn't before that, because I got that message from you about the Moogie before I went to bed, and at that time, I think I remember Fiona was like in here. She came and was like looking out the window, bolts, runs into the other room, comes back in, like meow, 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 and then comes in the room, and then it's just looking around the window, and then runs back out again. So I wonder if that's what was going on then.
Yeah. I don't know what Moogie was going to do, but I knew that I sent her specifically with the idea to mess with the cat a little bit. And it looks like Angela is game for a little Pukle. She's okay with our guides messing with her. So be careful what you wish for. We give them the inspiration. We can't say what they'll do.
Oh, so much. But yeah, and then so I had this idea. I was talking to Hank about I have known since I started doing shamanic journeying. It came to me from spirit that one day I was going to discover how to do like shared journeying with another person, where we both take off from wherever we are physically and then like meet up in spirit and have the same journey together. And I feel like that possibility is coming closer and closer.
Definitely. There's so many ways. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna do that and then maybe unpack it on air. Like, okay, we have this intention, and then maybe we'll go into what our experiences were and just see all those synchronicities. And anyway, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So how cool would it be to have it set up so that we have like a network of people we teach this how to do, and just like have and then we have, sorry, I just saw Angela coming in with all kinds of stuff. Yes, my ancestor opened my closet door the other night. I found out who it was through a pendulum. Amazing to me. Yes, I would love to play these games with you guys. Oh, and our guides.
Yeah. And on an ancestor note, if you want to specifically work with ancestors, you can set up an ancestor altar. You can put up a picture or two of people in spirit that you know of. If you have their graveyard where they're buried, a little bit of dirt has a little bit of the energy from when they passed and stuff like that. So you could really make a nice little waka, a portal to the world where you could connect more deeply and and more intensely with your ancestors. We could do a whole topic on that actually. So I'll just throw that out there since you mentioned ancestors. But we could do a whole ancestral topic one day and dive a little bit into the world of hoodoo.
Ooh, that would be cool. Yeah, because that's something I don't have the most experience with.
Yeah,
So,
and I do.
Yeah, so I would love to dive into that.
And another, I don't know why it's inspired, but anybody who missed it, go back to, I think you put it on Stir Crazy Shamans also. Did you stream the healing that you did earlier with Trixie? Yeah, he did, and I'm going to start doing this too. We're going to be doing like healings live and like picking people from the audience and just doing shamanic healings with them. We did one on Sunday with Jameson, and it went well. And you did one with Trixie a little bit earlier, and it's going to be something that I'm going to be offering too. I got a really cool microphone to pick up the sound of the crystal bowls and stuff that I work with. Or if you look behind me, you see all those tuning forks, and there's even more stuff in this other office, which maybe I can show you. You can see them. I think you can see it. You can see a crystal bowl, and there's more tuning forks in there. Anyway, I have a lot of different toys that I can play with.
Oh yeah, and I'm excited for all the amazing healing in Puklei that's going to happen once we're in person. Imagine doing. Oh, we can do that. I just realized Stir Crazy Shamans, like side by side in person, physically sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. That almost happened today. Because if I had been fired, I was planning we were going to meet up, and yeah, Ryan's laughing at me. He's like, he told me earlier in my messenger, he was like, "You're the only person I know who gets excited when you get fired." Oh man! Yeah, when they closed them, I used to work for Bank of America. When they announced the site closure, I was like, I did like a jump in the air in like joy and cheering, and then I got slugged in the chest by a coworker. So, but I was really excited. But anyhow, where was I going with that? Oh, like had I actually been fired, we could have totally broadcast Stir Crazy Shamans live from the center and then gone on the hike.
Yes. Oh, so much fun.
Well, she doesn't have any family. She doesn't know any of them. And that's okay too. You could actually, there's other ways that we'll save it for the episode, but there's ways that you can imbue an object by calling in the ancestors while you're in a really receptive state, and then use that as an anchor piece for your ancestors. And we're all connected. So you could also use graveyard dirt from anywhere, but we'll save that. That's a whole other topic that we can dive into.
When I remember Zane told a quick little side story, going back to like spirit guide play, when it was like the second or third spirit lodge or something, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but he started to talk about the like tobacco ceremony, and he was telling me the story of a Lakota man, a friend of his. I don't know if it was Lakota shaman or just a friend who was Lakota, but handed him a cigarette, like a Marlboro cigarette, and told him, "This is a crystal cigarette. Smoke this and think of me." And Zane was like, "Okay, I'm not really sure what that means." But then he was at home and had like time, so he sit there and takes like 2 puffs off of the cigarette, and just got this crazy wave of like buzz from like, and it's like he can take a few. He's done tobacco ceremonies a lot of times, so he knows his body can handle more than like a couple of puffs off of a cigarette. But he got hit and was like, "Woo!" And then he heard the Lakota friend. I can't remember what he said, but some kind of like "Iari" type thing, and then like and then just like saw his spirit and like was like in spirit with him like for half an hour, and then he later talked to his friend. And he was like, "Yeah, I set it up through that cigarette so we could spirit walk together." So I am all kinds of curious about like what kinds of things I can play with, like with you, Hank, that we can like what kinds of things we can try along those lines.
I'm sure all kinds of wonderful things. Spirit is so amazing, and like this is all the playful stuff, but there's like so many magical moments, like the way I got the peace pipe, and like and catching a fish for my father-in-law using spirit guides. There's all kinds of different things that you could use, not just for play, but for actual things that you are in need of in the reality. Or the time I almost died going down the car road with my brother Brian, and we were losing control of the car, and we were about to tip, and I called on a spirit guide in order to facilitate a physical manipulation and let the trailer basically go instead of us. So there's that's just kind of skimming the surface on a lot more stories we could go down to, because I know we have a little bit of a shorter episode today. But
Oh, geez, are we already at 25 minutes?
yeah, we are.
Wow.
But I mean, we have like 45-ish, 40, but I also need a little bit of time to take care of the body and eat too.
Yeah. Well, well, whenever you want to wrap it up. But
let's see. She was saying that she has seen a Lakota healer shaman myself a few times. He visited a local tribe where I'm at. Completely amazing. Yeah, and one of some of my teachers were Lakota. That's where I learned how to build sweat lodges. So it was Ed McGaw. Ed McGaw, and then Dr. Neil from Lilydale, and he always called his lodges when he taught it Polakota lodges, because he's Polish and he learned from a Lakota. So it's Polakota lodges.
Oh, I love it. Oh, so how are we doing, Hank? Do we want to continue for a little bit? Or?
Yeah, we could, especially for final thoughts and things like that. We have like 5-10 minutes tops, and then I just realized Spirit Pookland me with the new way I was streaming. I missed streaming to the HHH page and Sonic Shaman. So if you're just tuning in because I screwed up the live stream, if you go to Stir Crazy Shaman's Facebook page, you can see the entire broadcast from there, or of course on YouTube. If you subscribe to YouTube, you will always get notifications when we go live. Because we stream different ways in different places all the time. So the only way to know for sure that you're going to get it is either the Stir Crazy Shaman Facebook page or the Stir Crazy Shaman YouTube page. And same thing, Shaman's Way will always go to Shaman's Way and the Shaman's Way YouTube. I have links in the description, so you can go check those out and make sure you subscribe to all the different YouTube channels that we might broadcast to, including HHH. We occasionally broadcast to the Holistic Health and Healing Facebook page as well. So like and subscribe to all of them.
Yes, like and subscribe, and check out if you want to get in on some spirit guide fun. Check out my live streams on Shaman's Way. I do live spirit guide readings, so there's lots of fun that happens there. Beautiful visions come through, and then speaking of, quick little fun story on one of those, another like similar to what we were doing. I was doing a reading for someone, and it was this old woman that showed up for her. And she was like, how can I know? How do I know she's with me? How can she show me that? And I saw in spirit, this old woman grabs a coin and goes, ting, and like flips it out, and it lands in the energy of this person's hand. And I asked her, I was like, have you been finding like coins all over your house? And she's like, yeah, they just been popping up everywhere. And I was like, yep, that's the woman. She said she's been doing that. She was like, oh my God. So I just had to throw that little fun one in there at the end.
for that point though, anytime something seems out of place, ask, is this somebody trying to get my attention? Because it might just be a guide, a loved one in spirit that's manipulating something just to get you to notice. And once you notice, then you can put yourself in a space to become aware of the energy and who it is. And maybe there's a message for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spirit communicates in so many ways all the time. If you really start to tune into it, everything from like the music you're listening to the way the birds are singing and flying, and like everything, like spirit's always communicating something if we're ready to listen.
Absolutely.
So I guess that'd be like my wrapping up thought.
I guess mine too. Like that kind of missed naturally. Like it feels kind of. I can't wait. We're going to go on a hike later, probably. So,
yes.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go live. No, we need an actual PC to go live, don't we? Well, only using StreamYard. We could go live just to the Facebook group, just from a device. Ooh, so make sure you tune into the Stir Crazy Shaman's channel. Maybe we'll have a little stream later on and doing a little ceremony in the woods or something like that.
Yeah. So much fun.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you all for being here with us for the short Stir Crazy Shamans. And if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to the channel and our new Stir Crazy Shaman Facebook page. And we will catch you next time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
A Nike, a Nike, a Nike.